everyone, my name's Spencer, and why can I not get this match lit? Oh my god, light! I need it for the aesthetic. There we go. There we are. Much better. As I was saying, my name's Spencer and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be setting up my 2022 bullet journal, which I'm doing in this Archer and Olive Daisy notebook. Is it Daisy? No, it's a dandelion, not a daisy. Ignore me, it's a dandelion. I got the 160 GSM with a linen cover. I bought this during the sale, so I have no idea if these are still available, but all I can say is that I am really enjoying it so far. I'm doing things a little bit differently. I'm actually going to the back of my bullet journal first and attempting to take out the very back page, the flyleaf at the very back of the book. Because this usually ends up just being, like, I don't use one side of it and then the other side usually just has like swatch marks on, but I'm doing that elsewhere now rather than just in the back of the bullet journal. So I'm cutting this page out and you'll see what I'll use that for later. But I did struggle a bit because I still don't own a craft knife. But, you know, embroidery scissors work just as well, right? So now I'm going back to the front of my bullet journal and doing my nameplate page. I'm just doing some really simple decoration on this page. I'm using some of the thick washi tape that I got in the Notebook Therapy, can't remember what collection it's called, I'll put it in the description. Put the blue version of that limited edition set. I just think it looks really pretty. So I'm using this to create a border at the top and bottom of these pages. And I'm gonna write my name, hopefully. Does anyone else get really nervous writing their name on the front page? Because I do, every single time. And just adding some sparkles too. So here you can see I've got that other flyleaf page at the front of the notebook. So I really wanted to give this kind of a double use, because usually I completely ignore this page. I think most people do. I used to put my grid spacing guide on this page, and I found that really, like, the grid spacing guide is one of my most used spreads. Like, I use it every time I go to set up a bullet journal. But whilst it was great for when I was setting up the left-hand side of a page, it was kind of difficult to use it when it was stuck in my book to set up the right-hand side of the page. So I was inspired by Art and Foxes, I think their name is. And I'm using that fly sheet from before to make a grid spacing guide. And I'm using this page to make a pocket for it. I didn't want the pocket to be just plain, so I decided I would put my key at the front here. Like most people who've been bullet journaling for a while, I kind of know my key off by heart. I don't really come back to refer to this, but I thought it'd be helpful for people who are maybe just getting started, but also it just fills up a space. So I don't have to look at blank pages. So I am once again struggling to cut out this flyleaf page. This was a great idea in theory, but I did forget that these pages are more glued down than the other pages. So it was a bit of a nightmare, but we got there in the end. So yeah, I'm cutting off the top half of this. The same way you would a Dutch door, maybe. But what I'm gonna do is stick down the side of the key Dutch door, if that makes sense, to make a pocket for my grid spacing guide. I couldn't decide how I wanted to decorate this page. I go backwards and forwards on washi tape and where to put it and what washi tape I want to use. Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare, but we do get there in the end. So I'm not cutting any of my like the overhang of a lot of my washi tape yet. I'm just waiting until the end to do that, so don't worry, that does get sorted. So I'm just using double-sided sticky tape to stick down the side, but I cut it too thick, so that even after cutting it in half, I couldn't get the the grid spacing guide in and out very easily. So I tried trimming down the grid spacing guide on both sides without cutting off any of the dots. I tried just like wiggling it in, seeing if maybe like it would eventually work, but it didn't. So I had to take off that double-sided sticky tape, cut it even smaller, and then try again. this time it did work. It's still a little tight, but honestly that just reassures me that I'm not going to lose my grid spacing guide, which would happen. It would. I just know. I know me, and I would lose it. So I'm not too worried about it being a bit more difficult to get in and out. So I'm putting my journal to the side for now, so that I can set up my grid spacing guide. Like I said, this is one of the most helpful spreads that I ever set up in my bullet journal. It is the one that I always come back to. But oh my god, it is one hell of a ball ache to set up. I've done mine a little bit differently. I've done it straight into like halves and quarters directly, borders touching, and then I've done for halves, thirds and quarters the spacing needed to have those boxes with gaps in between. The gaps are not the same for each size, so the quarters there's like almost a square, the thirds there's like 2 squares between. I basically went from the halfway point between them and measured them out equally from that. That sounds really complicated. It was a bit of a, like, I had to do some real mental acrobatics to get this to work. I am happy with the sizing that I did, so if any of you would like to see this properly, I will upload a picture to my Instagram, which is Spencer Makes Stuff, and that'll be in more detail and much clearer, like what all of the sizings are. So once that's done, I'm finally moving on to my title page. I couldn't really think of a theme necessarily for this setup for ages, and in the end I just decided to go with this like sticky notes and seasons theme. So I did little doodles, one for each season. So I have a pink flower for spring, a swirly orange sun for summer, a red leaf for autumn, and a purple and blue umbrella for winter. I know something like snowflakes would have been much more aesthetic, but I live in Britain and our winters are mostly rain where I live. So, you know, because bullet journaling is completely personal, I decided to go for umbrellas instead of snowflakes. I did really like how this was looking until I started to outline certain things. I like how I outlined the umbrellas, but I made a big mistake when it came to outlining the flowers. I thought I would do something similar to my October spread with the strawberries, where the colouring and the line art are slightly shifted. But I did that here and I really hated it. I did not like how it looked. I didn't actually plan where the lines would go as opposed to the flowers, so I think that's why it didn't come out great. I freehanded them and I should know by now not to freehand stuff. So I tried to cover this up with my white Posca paint pen, but I own 2 and one of them for some reason is always more watery than the other one, and I accidentally picked up the watery one, so it didn't really work. So instead I dabbed off the excess. I debated using a gel pen, but I knew that wasn't actually going to cover it. So I have these circular pink stickers that came on a washi tape, again from Notebook Therapy, the pink version of the same set. And so I just picked some of those, stuck them down onto that bit of paper that I'd already cut out of my bullet journal for the Dutch door, and cut those out, because these stickers are slightly translucent, so they wouldn't actually cover up the mistake themselves. So I stuck them down to the paper and then stuck the paper over the flowers, and that looked much better. And I think because it's still the right tone and it's in, these stickers are like the same size, I think it still looks absolutely fine. So also I'm not really going to come back and look at this cover page all that much, so I'll only glance at it when I'm getting my grid spacing guide out, so it doesn't need to be perfect, for me anyway. So for my next spread, I am creating a space to do some journaling. I like to do this at the beginning and end of each of my journals as kind of a then and now sort of thing, but a little bit more freeform. So I just started this page with a hello, and I will do my journaling on this page. I kept this page really, really simple. For the decoration, I did those flower, sun, leaf, and umbrella doodles again. And actually, I really like how these look kind of like a washi tape. I'm thinking about maybe designing this as a washi tape, because I think it would look really cute. So let me know what you think. Would you be interested in having a washi tape or maybe a sticker roll with these designs on them? Because I would be, and I'd be interested to make them. But yeah, like I said, I'm keeping this side really, really simple because the point of it is for journaling, not for doodling. And I need as much space as I can because I say a lot, in case you hadn't noticed. On the other side of this spread, I'm just doing a year at a glance. Previously, I have not done a year at a glance and done a future log instead, but I realised I do not use those future logs, like, at all. I set them up and I have all the good intentions of actually using it, but I just use my phone. I just use the calendar in my phone to do what a future log does, and I always have my phone on me, whereas I don't always take my bullet journal with me everywhere I go. So I decided that instead of a future log, I would just have a year at a glance because that is what's helpful when setting up my monthly setups. If I just have a page to flip back to and I can be like, okay, how many weeks are in this month and what kind of shape the month is as well, because I tend to do calendar monthlies in my monthly setups. So this is very handy to just be able to look back at and just check. I haven't put like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on these, mostly because I don't need to. Also, it takes up more space. For anyone watching this, these are the Monday start calendars. Again, being in Britain, my weeks start on Monday, not Sunday, which is a shame because I do kind of like aesthetically how the week looks when it's bracketed with an S and an S, but yeah, I do just prefer having a Monday start calendar. So that's what these are. Oh, and I wanted them all to fit in the like 6 weeks of, like the 5 to 6 weeks of a thing. So you can see for some of them, like 30 and 31 is at the top rather than on a new week at the bottom, just to keep everything a regular size for this page. I don't do this when it comes to actual monthlies and things like that, but it works well here for mini calendars. And yes, this really hurt my hand to set up. Every bullet journaler always complains about how a year at a glance hurts their hands to set up, but alas, they are so worth it. And I just decorated this page with those doodles again, one in each corner, and then I used some of this really cute washi tape that I do not know where it's from. I bought a like lucky dip bag from someone on Vinted. I bought over like 100 washi tapes from them, and this was one of the sets. So if anyone knows where it's from, put it in the comments so other people can find it. So since I'm not doing a future log, I just got straight into my front of bullet journal setup pages. But these all are bullet journal setup pages. I mean like the more fill-in pages. So my next spread is all of my stuff for video production and social media stuff. So obviously I do YouTube and I make things for YouTube, be that bullet journal setups, costumes, props, well, anything cosplay related, and you know, sometimes just art. I just like to make art. But I do also get very overwhelmed when trying to balance all of these projects. So I've set up a like project schedule. Now this isn't when videos will go up necessarily. This is what videos I'll be working on each month. So I've got each month written down the side, and then I've got a column for the monthly things, which is always the plan with me's. This style of top-down videos where I'm setting up my bullet journal each month. The next column is my quarterly projects. So these are for projects that are a little bit bigger, take a little bit more time, but aren't so massive that I need a lot of time to do them. Stuff that I could do if I actually gave myself a deadline. So I've got space for one project each quarter. I then have a column for 6 months, so this is the same kind of thing, but even bigger projects. Examples of that would be like a more simple cosplay, like a DIY or thrift flip, and then a 6-month project would be something like the dragon skin dress, which I know I've been promising that video for ages. It will be coming up soon. I am very slow at sewing and very slow at editing. But anyway, yeah, quarterly, something like a thrift flip. 6th monthly would be something bigger, like the dragon skin dress. And then I do also have a column for year-long projects, and that's usually my writing. So this year, as it has been for the past couple years, oh my gosh, like the past 2 years, is working on Project Revolution, so, which is now in its 3rd draft, I think. Hopefully I'll get it done at some point. Yeah, I also just have a little space for notes. For decoration, I just did the doodles kind of in that washi tape shape again. And then of course I added more washi tapes. Again, these ones are from that Lucky Dip, so I do not know where these are from. On the other side of the page is for my social media stuff, specifically Instagram, because I really want to get better at posting on Instagram. I really enjoy it, but if I don't like take the picture and immediately upload it, I forget about it every time. So I'm hoping this will help me. This is more a tracker of when I do post rather than a schedule, but yeah, I'm just hoping this will help keep me a bit more accountable, so I can be like, oh, I haven't posted in, you know, this many days or this many weeks. Looking at you, November and December. So yeah, so that'll prompt me to keep going with my social media stuff. Don't worry, I will take breaks when my mental health needs it. I'm just saying, I do actually enjoy posting on Instagram, so that's why I've put a tracker in. You'll notice there is no such tracker for YouTube. So I did this one in a year in pixels style. So it's just one square for every day of the year. Yes, I did all 12 months. I'm quite happy to flip back to a journal to fill stuff in. I'm not too worried about them being in separate journals. Or if I'm bored, I'll just set them up again in the same one, in a new journal. But honestly, I'm more likely to go back to a different journal than I am to go back to the front of pages stuff that I've used in a current one. I don't know why. It's weird. I do not understand it either. So yeah, just decorating again with some of those stickers from Notebook Therapy and my own washi tape doodles. So for the last page of this setup, I am doing a goals page. I am notoriously bad for setting goals that are unachievable in the time frame that I give myself. So I'm setting this one up a little differently to how I have done in the past. This goals page is 2/3 about steps towards goals that I want to do. So I've split the page up into personal growth, creativity and business. I do want to grow my small business of making stickers and selling art prints and things like that. I'll let you know when there's actual updates for that. So these spaces, the left-hand page and then the top of the right-hand page, are specifically for just taking steps forward. For like, it's not necessarily for being like, I am going to do this year and filling all of the page with stuff I want to do, because I will not do them. We can't. Other things happen, shit happens, and you can't always do everything you plan to do in the year. Also, my intentions might change. So I might get partway through doing something and then being like, actually, this doesn't work for me, so I need to change direction or something like that. These spaces are for that. The final space, the bottom of the right-hand page, I've just put on track for, and this is for goals that I want to finish this year. So they get the smallest amount of space because I've either already started them or they are small enough to be completed within this year. I don't have any examples of this yet that I can give to you. So yeah, I actually put a memo on here to remind me of what this space is actually for. And then I went ham with the decorations. again using some of these stickers, a mix of washi tapes, and my own doodles down the centre as well. I also went back in and put borders around the topic, the goal headings, just because I thought they needed to stand out a little bit more than they did. And of course I gave them a drop shadow, because are you really a bullet journaler if you don't add unnecessary drop shadows to everything? I also realised I've used this kind of colour scheme in my last 2 bullet journal setups. Last time I did green, pink, purple and blue in more bright pastel colours, and this time I've done them in more the warm tones of those colours, but yeah, it's interesting. I must really like this colour combination. So here's my final flip through. Thanks for watching, friend. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like, and if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button so we can hang out some more. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!